Charlton's recent form seen them slide down the championship table. Anything but 3 points today, and their playoff hopes will be hanging by a thread. But West Brom still have title ambitions. A win for the country's top scorers will keep them in the promotion picture as the race for the Premier League heats up. Your Easter weekend of live football on Sky Sports starts here at the Valley. Charlton, who've lost their last 3 against the West Brom side, stuttering as well. 2 wins out of 7. We're on Sky Sports 1 and HD 1 on channel 408. Well, throwing 2 FA Cup ties, and this is the 4th meeting between the sides in 3 months. Well, West Brom won the Cup replay on penalties just and find themselves in an FA Cup semi-final in a fortnight's time. But they come here desperate to show their minds are still very much on the league as well. Joining myself and Peter Beagrie here this afternoon, Chris Powell, who played over 250 times for Charlton. And I'm guessing, Chris, as a man who's still registered, you'd rather be out there than in here with me and Peter this afternoon.
Absolutely. You know, it's desperate times for us at the moment. Like you said at the start, you know, our playoff hopes are hanging by a thread. But today's not really a must-win game. It's more of a needs, you know, for the fans, for the players. We've lost our last 3. And really, we need a win just to make the place buoyant again.
You have lost your last 3, as we mentioned. What's been the mood around the training pitch? Is it that you can still do something about it?
Absolutely. You know, you look at the Championship and really, I mean, any team can get any result on any given day. And we know, obviously, we're running out of games now. And, you know, with a game like this today, obviously, we can get ourselves back into the playoff position if we get a win today. So we know how tight it is. But for sure, you know, the place hasn't been as lively as it should be. But hopefully, the fans will get behind us today and we'll put on a good show.
Peter, West Brom involved in the FA Cup still. 1 or 2 injury problems for them as well. Do you feel that the number of games is starting to creep up on them?
Yeah, I do, and you know, the tiredness at this stage in the season with the amount of games that they've got, but they've got the best squad in the division. Fantastic, but a haul of sort of 8 points out of 18. We've seen how disappointing it has been for the top teams. It's not good enough at this stage, and Tony Mowbray will be looking for the players, you know, to be pushing on now, and this is a big game for them today because they've had 2 poor home performances with 1 point out of a possible 6. So, you know, this is a good game for them today.
Yeah, 1 or 2 teams have been stuttering for form. Let's just show you what the last 6 has been like, and Charlton right down there. 1 win, 1 draw and 4 defeats. But look at the teams in and around the top 4. Watford there have drawn their last 6 in 19th. Stoke City in 2nd place, 1 win in 5 for them, and it's 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats as well. Into the top half of the form guide. West Brom there with 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. Bristol City top at the moment, but they haven't won in 4 themselves. Wolves currently top of the form guide. We've got them live next week, actually, here at the Valley. The teams just keep taking points off each other, though.
They do, and that's what the Championship is like. You know, looking at Watford, they haven't won in their last 6 games, you know, but they're 3rd. And really, if you look at it, and if they had won 2 or 3 of those games, they would have been running away with it. So, I mean, I think this season is going to go right to the last game.
Yeah, definitely.
And if West Brom win today, they will go above Watford and only 2 points behind the top 2 with a game in hand. Charlton, it doesn't look good at the moment. They're in 10th. But if they win, they're up there in 6th place again, Peter. It just needs somebody to put a run of games together, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right, and there's any number of teams there that are capable of doing it, and that's the beauty of this league. It's been fantastic up to now, and you can see it concertinaing even more. and getting, you know, 4 or 5 points between, you know, top and bottom. So I think Stoke and Bristol City, they've got to be applauded because they've probably got 2 of the smallest squads in the division.
Have points targets been talked about, Chris? We see last season it was 75 for playoffs, it was 86 to get automatic promotion.
I think it'll be a bit lower this time. I really do, with the amount of games left and teams not putting in a real sustained run of form. I really think it's going to be slightly lower this year.
Well, let's hear now from the Charlton manager, Alan Pardew, with Greg Whelan.
Alan, 7 games to go. You're 2 points off the playoff places. How do you assess your promotion chances at this stage?
Well, for us, I think we've proved in various games that we're good enough. Unfortunately, not good enough for a consistent run, which has been our problem. Last week was a tough week for us. So we come into a crucial couple of games, 2 home games against 2 of the top teams, and that will probably determine how hard we push. If we win them both, then I think we'll be well set for the playoffs. If we don't, then we're going to have a struggle. But it's consistency that's been our issue.
Where do you feel you have been coming up short in terms of the performances?
Well, I'm not sure in terms of a particular single reason. I think there's been a number of reasons. All I would say is that this group of players is a new team, and you know, sometimes it takes a long time to get it to gel right. We have struggled at times, and we've done brilliant. Some performances we've put in have been of Premier League standard. So we got to focus on that now, and focus on that form for these remaining 7 games. I genuinely believe that I've got a great group of players here, and I hope they prove that over this last run.
Alan, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Honest approach from Alan Pardew. Very honest as well in his programme notes today. He says, blame me for getting 1 or 2 selections wrong. Chris, where do you think you have fallen short?
Well, I think he was talking about consistency, and I think really there's been key moments in games where we haven't performed and we've been punished. And I think at the striker's end, you know, really we've got Chris Iwelumo, who's only scored 10 goals. He's the only striker in double figures. I think you need at least 2 of your 4 strikers. You know, we're fortunate we've got 4 strikers, and we haven't had a consistent partnership to really gel and get those goals to propel us into the Premier League. It's
Leroy Lita and Andy Gray today. Andy Gray hasn't scored since he's been here. Leroy Lita's played just 3. He hasn't scored yet, but do you think there are goals in them?
Absolutely. Obviously, I see that every day, but I mean, Leroy's a Premier League striker, obviously out of favour at Reading. And Andy Gray, you know, was scoring lots of goals for Burnley. He's come down south and hasn't scored as yet, but you know, hopefully today, you know, we'd like those 2 to gel and maybe get a goal each and win 2-0. That'd be the ideal scenario.
Well, West Brom still eyeing automatic promotion. Their manager, Tony Mowbray, is with Greg.
Tony, you come here off the back of a heavy defeat against Leicester City. How do you expect your players to respond today?
In a positive manner, hopefully. It was an unusual day last weekend, but I put it out of our minds very, very quickly, and we move on today. It's another tough challenge for us, but one that we look forward to.
Is it a cause for concern, your recent record? Just the 2 wins in your last 7 league matches?
No, not really. I tend to, you know, statistics, they drive you mad, really. I suggest, you know, if you'd have told me they lost 1 in 5, I'd have been much happier. But, you know, 3 wins out of our last 5 games suggest we ain't too bad.
This is a game Charlton will be under a lot of pressure to win. Could that work in your favour today?
I don't know, maybe so. Let's wait and see how the game pans out. I don't think football's as black and white as this scenario, that scenario. Let's see how the ball rolls, and let's see who carries a bit of luck, and let's see how the game goes.
Thanks for your time, Tony.
No problem, thank you.
Don't baffle Tony Mowbray with statistics, Peter.
Level-headed and pragmatic as usual, wasn't he, Tony?
Potentially, yeah. Is there a better side in this league than West Brom?
West Brom, we've said at many stages in this season, we've seen how many goals are scored, 73 goals this year. Top scorers last year, only Manchester United scored more. The best team with the football. Without the football, different scenario. They've got midfielders who get beyond the ball and neglect defensive duties, and that's why they have been turned over at times. The lack of physical presence at the back, you know, we look at Howard's 3 goals for Leicester and Macaulay getting a goal as well in that 4-1 defeat, although Luke Moore had been sent off early on in the game, and that's the deficiencies that West Brom have got, and if Charlton can exploit them today, then you know, could see it have a game in our hands.
What kind of game would you expect to see, Chris? Because potentially, as we're saying, 2 very good footballing teams who like to get the ball down and play.
Well, West Brom, as Peter said, I would say they're the most outstanding team in the division.
Best team you've seen?
without a doubt, you know, with the ball. So we're hoping to exploit them when they come and attack us. But hopefully, we need a bit of an old-fashioned performance today, a bit of determination and a real up-and-at-'em performance by us, just to respond to the crowd, you know.
Well, the head-to-head is certainly tight between the two. 47 meetings, 17 wins apiece in the league overall. Here, it's in Charlton's favour, as you might expect. 10 wins to West Brom's 6. For those fans, as we know from past visits to the Valley, can really get behind their team when things are going well. West Brom fans travelling in hope. Still very much the title on their minds. They do have games in hand on the teams above them. And the team's almost on their way. Matt Holland, the captain here, and Jonathan Greening, the only ever present for West Brom this season. Where will he be lining up today? Possibly over on the left-hand side. Peter, is that his best position?
He can play there. He's been fantastic this season since giving the captain's armband. He's been the driving force for him. He's been that hub in the centre of midfield. He can play out wide because he's terrific with both feet, and he's hard to mark out there because he can cross with his left foot or his right foot. And we've seen Zoltan Gira play right side, getting goals with his head.
Well, we saw the first league meeting live on Sky in December, and that was some game. West Brom winning that 4-2. We hope for entertainment like we had that day here at the Valley this afternoon on this Good Friday. They're chasing their first double over Charlton in 53 years, and it could have huge implications in the race for promotion. It's Charlton against West Brom, and it's coming up live. It's the game of the Easter weekend in the Coca-Cola Championship. It's Charlton up against West Brom. For a check on the teams, let's get across to our commentators, Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Well, it's a fairly settled Charlton side, this one, just the one change from the team that lost at Ipswich last week. Andy Gray recalled alongside on loan Leroy Lita up front as Charlton go back to their preferred home formation of 4-4-2. Both strikers, by the way, still looking for their first goals for the club. The long championship season and the FA Cup run starting to take its toll on West Bromwich Albion. 5 changes from their defeat last time out to Leicester City. Liam Barnett joins the injury list with hamstring problems. Luke Moore suspended after he was sent off last week. On the plus side, though, Cole Hopkins back after 3 games out with his hamstring problem. Kevin Phillips and Ishmael Miller return to partner each other up front. And rare appearances for Bosjan Cesar and Pele. No place among the Charlton substitute for the teenage on-loan Chelsea winger Scott Sinclair, and a first appearance on the West Bromwich Albion team sheet since October for the Polish striker Bartosz Ślusarski. Well, there is Leroy Lita, brought in on loan away from Reading's struggle to stay in the Premier League to join Charlton's to get back in there. Up against the master marksman at this level, the Championship's top scorer, and rated still at the age of 34, the most effective operator around at this level. Well, just over 6 weeks of the season to go in the Championship. Most of the sides have 7 games to go. This should really have been a table-topping clash if all had gone according to plan, with pre-season predictions and the shape of these squads. The way it's panned out, Don, if anything, it's a lot more important for that, particularly for Charlton, whose season really hinges on this, and next games here against Wolves next week.
Well, we heard Alan Pardew before kick-off, didn't we? Just spelling out exactly that. This is a huge, huge game from the men from the Valley against as tough opposition as it could be, but neither team really in remarkably good form. Obviously, Charlton struggling a little bit more than West Brom, but yes, they've got a bit of ground to make up. They're outside the top 6 for the first time since mid-September, and it's all or nothing for them over these next couple of games.
Vital as well that they start to get the home support on side. A desperately disappointing performance from them last time out here against Preston, which Alan Pardew rated among their most poor displays of the season. And then a couple of unlucky trips away, Burnley and Ipswich, but 3 back-to-back defeats for only the 2nd time this season, and the first time since all the way back in October. Their timing in that respect, not good at all.
It's really interesting, wasn't it, before the kick-off? We saw the current form table, and I think that just spells out exactly why this division is so tight. We've got people at the top of the form table, probably in the bottom half at the moment.
Andy Gray cut out by Boston Cesar, and his return to the side, a victim really of one of the blips in West Brom's recent form, defeat away at Barnsley. Cesar playing by Tony Mowbray, left out of the side since then. Well, needs must, they have real injury problems. Leon Barnett, the latest, as West Brom continue to compete so excitingly as well for the club on 2 fronts, FA Cup semi-finalists, and it's in their hands still to go up automatically back to the Premier League after playoff heartache last year at the hands of Derby County. 2 games in hand, all very well, but you hear it said so often they'd sooner have those points on the board. Oh, a slip by Albrechtsen. Here's Leroy Lita, could be in here, but he's not. A let-off for West Bromwich Albion, and Leroy Lita will be kicking himself there.
Well, he will, because he was saying in the programme he hadn't had any real golden opportunities in his 3 games, but the slip lets him in. It's just not quite strong enough to hold Hopkins off the ball there. Otherwise, that could have been trouble for West Brom.
Well, I mentioned the missing Leon Barnett. They've got Albrechtsen in there and Bosjan Cesar. Albrechtsen, who's been playing out at right back, where the returning Hopkins heads down here. His heart will just be beating that little bit faster, won't it, the Danish international?
Checking his studs as well, won't he? And slipped. There's good noise in here, isn't there? And that's what Charlton really need from their supporters.
Need to try and make sure that they can capitalise as well. There's no doubt about it, these 2 sides similar in one respect, as Lita touches down to Andrew Gray. Jerome Thomas didn't get that one quite right. The shot of a man who hasn't scored in his last 34 games. Ambrose has kept it alive. Robinson, ever combative for West Bromwich Albion, carries clear.
Just struggled a little bit recently, haven't they, for goals, Charlton Athletic. Chris Powell talking before the game, saying top scorer's got 10. You know, when you consider West Brom's has got double that, highlights the difference between the two. And West Brom also goals coming from midfield as well as up top.
Here's Thomas. He's got it through to Darren Ambrose, who of all the Charlton players is one of the most informed goal scorer at the moment. A lot of them with yawning gaps between their last effort in front of goal. Charlton had a goal in their last 2. Greg Halford, the fullback, coming forward, one of 3 on-loan players in this Charlton starting lineup. Altered by the substantial figure of Bosjan Cesar. Greening, who has started in the middle. Corrin started centrally, and Ishmael Miller over on this right-hand side. Interesting lineup set out here by Tony Mowbray.
It is. We're going to have to watch this space, but it's definitely a huge gap between Kevin Phillips down the middle and Ishmael Miller out on the right, and Gira is drifting in. Corrin's out on the left, so it's one of the things that West Brom bring to the table. They have got terrific movement from those kind of players, and it's often very, very difficult to mark against.
He's had to tinker to keep it fresh, and it's been forced on him in many ways, Tony Mowbray, hasn't it, by the injuries. You think of back to the game, and we were there, Don, when thoroughly entertaining. Charlton edged out in the end by 4 goals to 2 at the Hawthorns. Chris Brunt that day with his delivery, although didn't get on the score sheet. In many ways, the execution is setting up a couple of picture postcard copy goals for Zoltan Gira.
It's something they've done regularly this season. Brunt's crossing, Gira at the far post, getting on the end of it and knocking the ball in the net. That's been robbed from them this afternoon.
will play that sitting role largely in front of the back four for West Bromwich Albion. Here he is, played that role often last season for Southampton in their run to the playoffs. Corrin, Miller popping up in the centre this time and putting pressure on Paddy McCarthy.
Well, that highlights exactly what we were talking about. The movement started out wide on the right, ended up right through the middle. Kevin Phillips dropped deeper into the hole, and that gave Miller the opportunity to go into that space.
Robinson. Corran, return to Paul Robinson. Frantic defending by Charlton. The foul was by Paul Robinson in the end.
Disappointed because a better touch there. May have been able to set one of his supporting players up for a strike at goal. We've seen over the years, certainly not frightened of getting forward, is he, Paul Robinson?
Greening, Miller. Dropping off Ishmael Miller. Last significant contribution to book that FA Cup semi-final place. Splendid hat-trick he got away at Bristol Rovers in the quarter-final. Seem to have settled marginally the better West Bromwich Albion in these opening stages.
Well, they're just keeping the ball for periods of time, aren't they? Which is what their game is all about. And Charlton will be keen not to let that happen for too much longer.
Kira. Greg Halford, judged to have blocked off the run of the Hungarian.
He's drifting in, isn't he, Gira? He's swapping places with Corran on occasion. Makes it very, very difficult for the midfielder and the fullback to know just how far to go when you're marking somebody. At what point do you cross over or do you stay with them? And that's the problem that West Bromwich Albion opposing Charlton.
Back to the former Charlton man, Dean Kiley. Nearly 250 appearances as he played a big part in establishing Charlton as a Premiership force, very much part of their last promotion side back in the late 90s. And they were able to bounce back to the top flight. First time of asking, that was routine. They ran away with it this time. Much more of a battle on their hands, and recent results, those 3 consecutive defeats, ensuring that the door has pretty much mathematically been closed on them going up automatically.
They'll be disappointed with that, won't they? Very, very keen to bounce straight back. Of course, they've still got the opportunity to do that via the playoffs, but they're going to need to improve this form.
Rain starting to fall quite heavily here over southeast London now. That'll only add to the zip and the excitement you would hope of 2 of the better footballing sides in the Coca-Cola Championship. Here's Greening. Phillips. Pele. Hufkins on his return to the side. An expansive crossfield ball, inch perfect for Greening as well. The heavens have opened. Must be how Alan Pardew has felt recently when it rains, it pours. In the recent weeks, he's, in the programme notes today, taken responsibility for tinkering the side to try and engineer an automatic promotion slot. Hasn't worked out. Interesting also, Don, in the programme notes, saying after the disappointing defeat at Ipswich last week, he didn't know what to say. Matt Holland, the captain, stood up and did all the talking, said all that was needed to be said in the dressing room afterwards.
Really appreciated that as well, didn't he, Alan Pardew? Must have been ready to explode, and when your captain takes the job in hand, holds the hands up of the players, it's refreshing, isn't it, when a manager holds his own hands up and takes some of the blame for tinkering a little bit with the team. Just looking for some consistency, chasing it a little bit.
Ambrose looking for Lita. He's had the standout opportunity of the match so far after that slip from Albrechtsen. The way the rain's coming down, could be a few more little mishaps on either side. Darren Ambrose. Thomas looking for the return ball. A little too weighty from the man who will turn 25 on Sunday.
It was all very, very tight, wasn't it? When Jerome Thomas comes right into the middle off that wing, it just narrows everything up and tightens everything up in there. West Bromwich Albion will be happy with that. I think Charlton need to get him out wide. He's a dangerous customer, Jerome Thomas. Get him the ball out wide on the touchline, let him run at defenders, and he can cause all kinds of problems.
Bit of a saga between these 2 clubs this season. A 4-2 win in West Brom's favour that we talked about earlier on, and then the double FA Cup meeting required a replay, and in the end required penalties for West Brom to prevail, and in the end it has proved to be their toughest test on their way to the semi-finals. Free kick here, which Greening will take. Swirling wind, lashing rain. Clear heads required at the back for Charlton. Greening launches it up.
I'll tell you what, with all this rain and wind, be encouraging players to be shooting in these conditions, wouldn't you? Testing for goalkeepers.
Soji. Miller first on the scene. Semedo finds Ben Thatcher. Starting 3 consecutive games for the first time this season. His campaign so far has been absolutely decimated, Ben Thatcher. Lita, strong arm to the ground by Martin Albrechtsen. Useful looking free kick here for the home side as well.
Again, decent opportunity to get some quality delivery into the penalty area. The one area we do know West Brom have struggled with is defending set pieces over the course of the season. Has been the area that's caused them problems, and Charlton will be well aware of that.
Halford can certainly hit these. Darren Ambrose as well. Those are the two in the mix. Soji is forward. Oh, an excellent effort. Fired just wide in the end. Kiley would have had his heart in his mouth.
Well, I don't know whether Dean Kiley was just being completely calm in the certainty that this was going wide or not. It seemed a little bit slow to get across the goal. It's a decent effort, isn't it? And it's very, very close, isn't it? But you do have to say, in Dean Kiley's defence, had it been on target, you do feel he would have got a hand on it.
Semedo. Referee spotted a little nudge there on Andy Gray by Pele.
They've done their job though, haven't they, Charlton? The West Bromwich Albion not having all of the ball anymore. Game's settled down a little bit and they've foraged their way back into it.
Even though they are the home side, they'd have expected West Brom to have a lot of the ball here, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. I think they played, as you say, West Brom 3 times already. They know each other inside and out, these two teams now.
Thatcher delivers that one. Soji makes life awkward. Back in by Jerome Thomas. Call from Kiley. Well, he's missed that completely. Unable to recover.
It's another little deep breath. It slipped through his fingers, didn't it?
And the rain has relented slightly. Kevin Phillips coming from an offside position to contest that one. Kevin Friend, our referee here this afternoon. Never been in charge of a West Brom winning side. They'll be looking to change that. Matt Holland. Gray had a lot of ground to make up and Cesar thundered across that.
Well, Andy Gray thought Leroy Lita was coming in to take that ball and just delayed his run for a second. That's what cost him. Didn't get on the end of it.
Jerome Thomas.
Must be a lot of tension out there on the pitch, to be fair. Massive, massive occasion this for both of these clubs.
There's similarities between them as well, having to cut their cloth after recent Premier League relegations, losing a lot of their big-name players. Having to rebuild under managers who've been there for a similar length of time. Both managers who like to play the football rather than go for the more physical approach. Both managers will learn that you have to mix it to get success in the Championship.
You've certainly got to earn the right, haven't you? West Brom and Charlton, both teams, as you say, that want to get the ball down and pass it. Who earn the right to do that, competing.
Ambrose. Gray will leave it. Taken off the toes of Thomas by Holland. A little bit of confusion because it promised to deliver a lot more, that move for Charlton. As it is, here's Ishmael Miller. Came off Ben Thatcher last. Greening. Phillips. On the free kick of his teammate at West Brom last season, Sam Soji.
It's needless, isn't it, really? You can't go through players to get to the ball without conceding a free kick.
Greening to take. Well defended by Greg Halford, back in by Robinson. Miller with a high boot. They look for a free kick. They don't get it though, Charlton. And now Jerome Thomas can go up through the gears down this left now for the home side. Semedo. Ambrose wants it. Rather telegraphed though for Corrin to collect. Now Ishmael Miller. This is where he likes it. He's got Phillips to his left as well. Kevin Phillips, great run into the box from Gira as well. It's Phillips. It's a brilliant piece of defending by Charlton. More work to do here. Corrin deflected away by Thatcher. West Brom turned the screw. Greening, real all hands to the pump stuff from Charlton, and they've got it clear. Here it comes again though through Pele. Zoltan Gira. Robinson. Now Greening. Jonathan Greening, what a good ball in.
Wow, that's a good passage of play, wasn't it? Brought to an end when Ishmael Miller was climbing, but it's much better from Tony Mowbray's boys. All came about, didn't it? Because Semedo gave the ball away in midfield. Allowed his team to get the ball, manoeuvre it a little bit, get a few shots in. Charlton having to really defend for their lives for a period there.
We talked about they'll be aware that West Brom will get a lot of possession. They'll also be aware that they have to do a lot of defending against the top scorers in the Coca-Cola Championship. 73 goals. Not just that, but the top scorers in all 4 divisions of English football. The Championship entertainers. Corrin offside that.
Jonathan Greening just holds his hand up because he delayed the pass. If he hadn't have done, Corrin was away.
Please, Tony Mowbray. Well, but Corrin called up by his country, Slovenia, but turning down the opportunity to play for his country next week in a friendly against Hungary. And Zoltan Gira, incidentally, wants to stay and train with West Bromwich Albion and help them for the massively hectic and important April that they have ahead. Albertson goes to grab, and Andy Gray is penalised.
It's going to be a scrap, isn't it, all afternoon, that one. High balls into the edge, big, strong lad, Andy Gray, isn't he? Backing in, and there's just a little grapple of the neck there, but very theatrical fall by Martin Albrechtsen, I have to say. Did the job, though.
Ishmael Miller, Kevin Phillips, Robert Corrin, Gira now. Good give and go, Zoltan Gira, last-ditch stuff again, and it's put behind by Soji for a corner.
That's superb. And I'll tell you what, we're not going to see this, but Kevin Phillips had manipulated himself into some space in the middle of that goal. If he could have just found him, Gira, West Brom would be in front. It's good defending in the end by Charlton.
2 of the players threatening to combine who caused so much of the damage in Charlton's league defeat back at the Hawthorns. Greening looking to cause the damage here. Solid defended by Greg Halford. Away by Soji.
Just starting to have to do a little bit more defending than Alan Pardew would like, aren't they, Charlton? West Bromwich Albion just turning up the heat a little bit.
For all the positivity that's no doubt been talked about in the week, Charlton training will know that they haven't won here at home in their last 3 games, even though they had won the 3 previous to that. No side in the top 13 in the Championship has a record of losing more home games. Something they desperately need to put right in the next 7 days against opposition from the same part of the land. West Bromwich Albion this week, Wolves next week.
Plymouth after that, methinks, as well. 3 contenders, aren't they? That's where they're just breaking down in that final third at the moment, Charlton. Misplacing passes, not on the same wavelength. We'll be hoping to settle down a little bit.
It's a long and intense championship season, isn't it? 46 games have to be squeezed in, and more often than not it's 2 a week. Add the cups into that as well. Squads have to be used to the full, and as we touched on already, Alan Pardew taking the blame for too much tinkering. He's got his new look strike force assembled since January. Leroy Lita and Andy Gray, no goals between them. The likes of Luke Varney and Chris Iwelumo having to make do, looking on from the sidelines, both contributors significantly at various times during the season. Here's Semino. Thomas. Ben Thatcher joins the attack. He can deliver with that left foot. Good looking ball. Gray tried a bit of guile, nearly worked out.
That's a very clever attempt, isn't it? It was way past the near post when he has to make contact, but Thatcher given way too much time. Gray, there's the little flick. Just gets a little bit too much on it, but you can certainly see what he's trying to do. He's just trying to lightly glance that ball, get less contact on it.
Certainly the most significant piece of business done by Alan Pardew in the January transfer window was banging in the goals for Burnley. And speaking of banging, there's a thumping clash there involving Carl Hopkins.
I'd never like to see that, do you? Clash of heads. There's a lot in football. Hopefully they'll both be okay.
Up gets Jerome Thomas. The Belgian international Hopkins a little slower to get to his feet, but
there it is, into the back. Accidental clash of heads. Charlton supporters not happy, are they? But you can see the red mark on his forehead. I think he's going to headbutt him deliberately.
One of the cult following, Carl Hopkins had it at Stoke and has got it as well at West Bromwich Albion. And they like to call the Hoff. Sodji forward here, hits his head on it, but the flag was up for offside long before he did.
Yeah, he went too early. Sam Sodji, keen to get in there. Just drifted offside.
Well, just over a quarter of the match gone. Plenty of endeavour, not a huge amount of goalmouth action.
Cagey, isn't it, really? I think West Brom probably slightly edging it, but as you say, no real clear chances for either team.
Thatcher skewed that one a little bit out of side. Mind you, looking back again to that league meeting down at the Hawthorns, it all happened pretty dramatically in and around half-time and towards the end.
And the big Chris Iwelumo giving Charlton the lead. West Brom equalised just before half-time as well.
Lita, he's onside, but it wasn't quite directed in his direction.
It's been the feature at the moment, just haven't been able to pass the ball accurately.
More live football coming for you from the Premier League. It's Spurs against Portsmouth. See it tomorrow, 12:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And then Leeds, as they bid to get their promotion, push back on track against Walsall in League One. See it tomorrow, 5:15, Sky Sports 1 and HD1 as well. Thatcher. Jerome Thomas. They're going to pull away into space. Here's Holland. Thatcher. Knocked away by Albrechtsen. Lita, first to pounce. Thatcher again, plenty of red in the box if he can pick out a teammate.
I can't believe he had a touch. Ben Thatcher had a great opportunity to get that ball in first time. Leroy Lita rolled it back at a nice pace, which would have allowed him. They had bodies in the box and he turned it down.
Andy Gray, 3 for company. He's picked out Jerome Thomas. Well, Hopkins came across and took care of the situation. Appeals for any penalty quickly waved away by Kevin Friend.
There were no appeals, to be honest. He just lost his footing, didn't he? Carl Hopkins stood up, didn't dive in, did his job.
Fletcher. Cross comes out, and played it off Andy Gray, I think. That's what he's protesting, but the throw-in's gone Charlton's way. Thomas. Ambrose. Gray couldn't control. Soji. Pele. Hopkins. Forced into the error. Now Greg Halford, his 10th consecutive start since his loan move down from the Stadium of Light, where things haven't really worked out for him. Stand-up performer, wasn't he, last season, as Colchester threatened to get into the playoffs. Moved to Reading, and he played for them, and then Sunderland. Not really as much of a fixture as he would have liked. Here's Holland, very much a fixture in the heart of the Charlton midfield. Thomas. Pick out Gray or Lita. Hopkins with the block. They'll get another bite at it here, Jerome Thomas. That looks a little better. Ambrose.
That's where you really want to see Jerome Thomas, with the ball at his feet, out wide, taking Hopkins on. The ability to deliver decent crosses into that West Brom penalty area.
Big prize on offer, these 3 points this afternoon, to take West Bromwich Albion, still with one game in hand over the leaders, to within 2 points of the top two, to take Charlton back into where they have belonged for most of the season, into the top six. They've been in the top six since October. Defeat though at Ipswich last week saw them leapfrog by Hull and Plymouth. Wolves then, with their win in midweek, meant that they moved down another place. So kicking off this afternoon in as low a position as they have been since the table was taking shape all the way back in August. Caesar. Albrechtsen. Greening. Taken off his toes by Jose Semedo, the young man from Portugal. Now Leroy Lita. Semedo wants the return pass, gets it. Tried a bit of trickery, but he's a wily old campaigner, Jonathan Greening. The West Brom captain wasn't going to buy that. Touched by Corrin. Phillips. McCarthy, now Thomas. Beyond Pele. West Brom's Portuguese midfielder gives away a Charlton free kick.
Again, West Brom refusing to just clear the ball and lump it up pitch. Jonathan Greening taking a little bit of a gamble, didn't quite get it all the way clear. Now his team face a dangerous situation.
Ambrose. McCarthy heads down and into the corner. Well, Greg Halford, by the look of things, got the final touch on it. It is a Charlton lead, and it is a first goal for the club for Greg Halford.
Wow. Tony Mowbray's going to be pulling his hair out, isn't it? It's another set-piece goal conceded by West Bromwich Albion. Nobody near Halford. He knocks it down. I'm not certain he's going for goal here. Just maybe knocking it back down into the danger area, but zips off the turf, just inside the post. And it's a cheap goal. Very, very cheap for West Bromwich Albion. Got to defend better than that. Got to be strong. And I think it's Pele, isn't it? Nowhere near him. Absolutely nowhere near Greg Halford. And Charlton have got their lead.
His first goal since his Colchester days. On the half-hour mark, it's first blood to Charlton Athletic.
We called it before, didn't we? We said they just give you an opportunity, West Brom. They can dominate games, but when they concede set pieces, it's almost like they've got a death wish.
Charlton tails up. And they cap capitalise while West Brom have been knocked out of their stride. Holland, Leroy Lita, Andy Gray, both tightly marshalled. Now Holland, Ambrose.
Well, you can hear now, they've got the crowd. West Brom have given them that lift, haven't they? You can hear the crowd getting behind Charlton. They're going to have to weather the storm here now, West Brom.
Into the mix again, important touch away, Thomas!
Well, his defence had probably zipped off the turf, but his header zipped off the turf as well, didn't it, Greg Halford? Let's have a look at the movement here. Just pulls off the shoulder, gets his head. Simple, as easy as ABC, and that's what it means. First goal for a new club, and a big goal. What a big goal.
They will remember Charlton. They scored first in the last league meeting and went on to lose the match. McCarthy angled up towards Halford. West Brom throw.
Well, you've heard it said, haven't you, many times, goals change games. Been no real threat from Charlton before that goal. And now it's a question of how each team are going to react to that goal. You'd expect Alan Pardew's boys to get a real positive lift from it. And West Bromwich Albion, well, they're going to have to match them.
Fresh in their minds will be the fact that they took the lead last time round against Leicester and ended up losing by 4 goals to 1, albeit a red card for Luke Moore not helping their cause at all. Still plenty of football to be played here. Just over a third of the match gone. It's Charlton 1, it's West Bromwich Albion 0. Did it well, Chris Powell, when he said before the game it wasn't must win, but it is need to win. So important on so many levels for Charlton that they can hold on to this or improve on this lead.
Absolutely. Some big games coming up for them. They are running out.
Greening to catch Ambrose napping and find Robinson. He's done that. And sneaking in there, Kevin Phillips finding space where there didn't appear to be any.
That's typical Phillips, isn't it? Paul Robinson did very well to keep that ball in play, and Phillips was the only one that anticipated he might do that.
Well, win or lose, he'll look like that in the dugout.
He doesn't give much away, does he? But he will be seething even at the way his team conceded that goal.
In a way, isn't it, Don? It's a case in point of why they haven't run away with this championship race. Generally agreed that they are on their day the most irresistible attacking force. The goals record proves that, but the fact that they are playing catch-up, not just here this afternoon, but generally, testament to the fact that they concede a fair few, and a lot of them like that.
Something they go away and they work on the training ground as well, because it's been their Achilles heel most of the season. It's not like they're not aware of it. And for me, it's all about determination. If you're marking somebody from a set piece and you are more determined and show more commitment and desire to get on the end of that ball, as a defender, you'll clear it.
Chance to show what they can do from a set piece of their own. Greening. Trying to get around the round of Ambrose. He will certainly check that.
I think he's hurt himself in that challenge. It's a needless free kick to give away, to be honest, because it was Leroy Lita that was out there helping him. They had 2-on-1. Jonathan Greening had a bit to do to get round him, but conceded the free kick and hurt himself in the process.
It's a painful one, doesn't it? And possibly even a muscular one, which would spell trouble for his future involvement in the game.
When you see somebody down like that, you just hope that it's cramp for their sake. Otherwise, doubtful they can continue.
Greening, high hanging one there, which they've dealt with fairly well. Leiter could do to thump it upfield and give a chase to Halford. It's just going to zip away on this skiddy pitch, thanks to the early deluge we had here. Still pretty windy around the valley, but the rain, I'm pleased to say, has relented at the moment. Here's Pele. Ambrose looks like he's ready to rejoin the party here. Robinson. Kevin Phillips. Looking for Miller. Thatcher in bravely. Now Thomas. Can he get round Hopkins this time? Twisting, turning, Jerome Thomas looking for support. Finding Semedo. Run from Ambrose in off that right side. This is Gray. This is a good move from Charlton as well. Jerome Thomas. Would have been a thrilling finish to Charlton's best move of the match.
Well, we said early on, this is what he's got in him, Jerome Thomas. He doesn't do it often enough for me. Great skill, great ability, can twist defenders inside out. Decent effort, gets the deflection. Tony Mowbray's heart will be in his mouth at this moment, won't it?
McCarthy's come near post. Telling touch away by Pele, who got a push in the back as well as he cleared it.
Well, that's, I'm say that's what we're talking about. Effort, desire. Pele desired to get on the end of this before the Sodje, who was marking, and he did so. He took a whack to the head for his troubles, but he cleared the danger, and that's what it's all about.
Well, he'll be keeping a beady eye, won't he, on any Achilles heels in that West Bromwich Albion defence. Harry Redknapp, who's Portsmouth, faced the Baggies in the FA Cup semi-final. Joe Jordan alongside him, who knew how to wreak havoc in defences himself during his playing days.
Hard men were allowed to be hard. Just lost their rhythm a little bit, haven't they, West Bromwich Albion, since that goal? Haven't managed to find any kind of fluency.
Phillips. No one seemed to want it. He did. Now Pele. Charlton can play on. Corrin a little lightweight in the challenge. That was the opinion of Kevin Friend, anyway. Lita. Corner kick, Charlton.
It's decent striking play, isn't it? Good run into the channel, held the ball up, saw he was being closed down and just turned it against the defender for a corner. He seems to be growing in confidence as well, doesn't he? Coming more and more into the game, Leroy Lita.
Oh, he'd love a league goal to end what has been a 13-month drought for him, even though he's missed a lot of football in that time. Ambrose with Charlton's corner. In this time it wasn't going to reach Halford, who scored from a set piece earlier on. Gira to hook clear. Now Miller. Corrin with a pacey burst from the back. Phillips. Charlton have got men back now. Element of surprise lost a little from West Bromwich Albion's point of view. Corrin cut out by McCarthy.
That's a lot better, isn't it, from West Bromwich Albion? Manoeuvring the ball out wide.
Greening. Get a bit of an angle to whip this one in. He's gone deep. Albertson. Blocked away by Semedo. A Danish defender again here. Couldn't find a way past Sodje. They've defended pretty well in the first half, haven't they, Charlton?
They have. The two guys in the centre of defence, they've coped with everything. He's one of them, Sam Sodje, against his former club. And there's the other one, McCarthy.
Greening. Going to have a word with Darren Ambrose here, the referee. These are the sort of situations where West Bromwich Albion can cause menace.
They've had a few opportunities, haven't they? And some almost pointless free kicks being given away by both teams, really, to be fair. That's probably Darren Ambrose's last warning.
He had to have a yellow card in the match. Greening, plenty of bodies forward. Albrechtsen at the near post. Weaver thought about coming for the far. Here's Kevin Phillips! And that is Kevin Phillips. A wonderful finish by the Championship's top man. And West Bromwich Albion are level.
Well, that is absolutely as good as it gets from a striking perspective. And shush, he's telling the Charlton fans he's got to be careful with that kind of thing. But what a finish that is. It's Zoltan Gera again at the far post. Out jumps Thatcher. What a controlled finish that is. Brilliant touch. Manoeuvres the ball exactly where he wants it. There's a little touch, sees the gap. It's about the only space that he's got to go for. Charlton defenders in front of him, and he just guides it into that foot square in the top corner. That is absolutely brilliant.
21 goals for the season in 29 games for Kevin Phillips.
Well, he hits the target, doesn't he? That's what he does. Such incredible awareness when he's in front of goals. When he needs to blast it, he blasts it. And when he needs to place it, he places it. And when he needs to chip it, he chips it. Fantastic awareness.
McCarthy down, an apology from Gera. Thomas not going to hang around to listen to that. Charlton look to bite back. The closing minutes of this first half. Thatcher. Cross comes Robinson. It's going to be a corner, though.
Gera here, I think, might be the first person in the book. He's a little late on Paddy McCarthy as he cleared the ball, pleading his innocence. Must have been a sore one. Paddy McCarthy only just getting to his feet there.
And he's not going to make it, but they might want him up at the other end to help attack this corner. But they'll temporarily operate with 10, Charlton. Ambrose glanced off Greening, then off Pele. Thomas.
Can't afford to concede now. West Brom got themselves back into this game. It's the last thing they need.
Oh, they might just concede it. Sochi! And the man who played in the playoff final for West Brom last season fires wide for Charlton.
Well, I tell you what, it was a Kevin Phillips-like touch that got him in position. Watch this as he turns away from the defender, but that wasn't Kevin Phillips-like. Nowhere near the target, and what an opportunity for Sam Soji.
He can smile about it. Has chipped in with a couple of goals this season, Sam Soji, the last one in Charlton's last win on Sheffield United. Pele fired it straight into Matt Holland. Thatcher. Down the throat of Hopkins. A couple of minutes of added time.
The professionals indicated that a minimum of 2 minutes additional time
Robinson.
to be played.
Halford using his head for defensive ends this time. And Greening just late to arrive there on Samido.
Well, he has to get a yellow card, doesn't he? Kevin Phillips pleading with the referee. In today's climate, when you dive in, if you mistime it, you can expect to see a card, and he's very late, isn't he, Jonathan Greening? Samido skipped past him. It's 2 West Brom players now, got to be very careful, especially having had to play with 10 men last week.
You think back to last year as well, it was costly in the run-in, wasn't it? Sendings off, red cards, lapses in discipline. I think particularly of the home defeat against Sheffield Wednesday when they lost a couple of players.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, must stay disciplined. They can't afford to play football with 10 men and have players missing through suspension.
Thatcher. Good touch on there by McCarthy, but the flag had gone up from the assistant.
Well, it's a carbon copy of the game at the Hawthorns, isn't it? Charlton go in, take the lead, looking good, and West Bromwich Albion level just before half-time.
Well, he was looking for a response, Alan Pardew, and he's got a fairly good one. Undone, though, by some clinical finishing from Kevin Phillips. And settle for scores being level, Alan Pardew, but he might just have a little worse than that.
Well, Jonathan Greening is going absolutely mad with our referee. He cannot believe that this isn't going to be a yellow card because he's saying it's identical to the one you've just booked me from. And that's exactly right. It is. He's so late, Samido. And I just wonder whether Jonathan Greening has talked him into the book there. Because it didn't look like the referee was going to book him, did it?
And there he is. Well, they asked for consistency. The end justifies the means. Samido joins Jonathan Greening and Zoltan Gira in Kevin Friend's notebook.
I mean, you don't like to see that, do you? Players getting involved. Jonathan Greening making the point, but he felt harshly trapped.
Phillips, a low fizzer wide of Weaver's goal.
And again, he knows the clock's running down. Get a strike on, but you don't like to get fellow professionals into trouble.
So nothing between them at half-time. A little bit of needle between Samido and Greening, but it's Kevin Phillips' goal which has levelled it up for West Bromwich Albion after Greg Halford's first for the club since he joined on loan from Sunderland had given Charlton the lead. Sets it up nicely for the second half, doesn't it? But at half-time, it's 1-1.
It certainly does. Beautifully poised at half-time. We'll get the thoughts of Peter Beagrie and the Charlton player coach Chris Powell in just a couple of minutes' time. Joy for Charlton fans initially, having seen their team score for the first time in 3 games, but it's been tempered a little bit by that equaliser. Could be more goals in this game. 1-1 at the break. Busy Good Friday of live action on Sky Sports. From the Guinness Premiership, Rugby Union sees Leeds Newcastle at 7, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. The third and decisive test comes from Napier. New Zealand-England gets underway from 9 on Sky Sports 1 this evening. There's live golf as well, as Tiger looks like he's marching on to an 8th straight title, the WGC CA Championship, second day 6, Sky Sports 2 and HD2. There's live tennis as well with the Masters Series from Indian Wells. 8 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra. And here at the Valley, nothing between the sides at half-time. It's Charlton 1, West Brom 1. So at the moment, it's as you were. It doesn't really suit either side at the moment, you suspect. Peter Beagrie and the Charlton player coach Chris Powell are here with me in the studio. Chris, will West Brom go in feeling a bit better about themselves because they equalised?
Absolutely. It was quite an edgy start from both teams, but a well-worked goal by us. And I'm sure we would have been looking to go in at 1-0, but poacher supreme that he is, Kevin Phillips, got the equaliser.
We saw the old West Brom, didn't we, that you were talking about before the start of the game, Peter. One side with the ball, different side without it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a bright start by them. You know, a lot of fluidity, and they weren't static, interchanging and everything like that. But then, you know, got done with the sucker punch, a good set piece, as Chris says, with Halford scoring his first goal for the club while on loan.
You must be very pleased for Greg Halford to get that goal.
Absolutely. You know, he's come on loan from Sunderland and had a bit of a tough time. You know, we're not playing particularly well, but you know, it was a good goal for him, and he's very good in the air, and hopefully he might get on the end of one in the second half.
Well, let's have a look at it then. Is it a good piece of offensive play, or are there concerns from the West Brom defensive point of view?
Well, you know, I think it's a good ball. I think we've got to give credit to Charlton there. It's a good ball in, and Halford's, you know, 6'6" in his stocking feet. There's no blame attached to the markers. All I can say is Albrechtsen, who's coming in at last minute, who pushes off Andy Gray. It looks as if he's going to swing his left foot, and I think Dale Carley thinks that. He stutters a bit, doesn't take an extra stride, and it just sneaks in the far post. What do you think, Chris?
It just puts Dean Carley off slightly. He's just about to go for it, and then he's trying to react off Albrechtsen, who leaves it, and then right in the last minute it goes in.
He had 7 seasons here as well, Dean Carley. Will he be brooding after that?
He will, because he was my roommate for 6 years. So, you know, I know exactly how he feels, and I'm sure he would have liked a clean sheet coming back here. But it was a good goal for us, but like we said earlier, you know, they got the equaliser.
From an almost identical position at the other end of the pitch.
Yeah, and we said about Greening's delivery. And he's Zoltan Gera, who got a couple of goals against Charlton with his head, nods it back down, and there's Kevin Phillips. What a fantastic finish this is. We have a look at the readjustment. He looks to hit it after he's took a touch there. He stutters a bit and then finds the top corner. It means that the two players, Andy Gray, it is, and I think it's McCarthy, come down the line the ball. But because he stutters a bit, they don't come and close him down, which allows him that time. And I would like to say space, but there's not a lot of space to find the stanchion from there, is there, Chris?
Well, I think what he's done as well, normally most players in that position would strike it. But he's looked, and just a calm side foot, you know, I mean, for the striker that he is and has been over the years.
Yeah, top scorer in the Championship, 19 goals. Just maybe reminding 1 or 2 people in the crowd there that despite the fact he's 34, he's still got a little bit in the locker. So it's beautifully poised, isn't it, at half-time, 1 each. Remember, Charlton can get back into the playoffs. West Brom could go third with a win. So much to play for in the second half, which is coming up live next. More football this weekend. Tomorrow from the Premier League, Tottenham Portsmouth, 12:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. We go to Ellen Road in League One for Leeds Walsall, 5:15, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And remember, Grand Slam Sunday, Man United Liverpool from 1 and Chelsea Arsenal from 3:30, both on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Some fans can't believe their eyes. What's happened in this first half? 1 goal apiece. Get the feeling there could be 1 or 2 more to come as well. Commentators for the second half, Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Don't blink or you might just miss it. Promises to come to quite a climax here in the second half here at the Valley. Charlton 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. History repeating itself from the earlier league meeting here. And by the way, this is the same scoreline, and it's in both the FA Cup meetings as well. So similarities abound in the 4th meeting between the clubs this season. Charlton will hope that they can add a little bit of symmetry to it, though, and get their first win of the campaign against the men from the Black Country. No changes to either side in terms of personnel at half-time. Both have attacking options on the bench. Roman Bednar, who scored in the earlier game among the substitutes, the on-loan Hearts player for the Baggies. And Charlton, of course, have Chris Iwelumo, another player who played a key part in the earlier league meeting.
I think that both the benches that these clubs boast highlight the strength and depth that they've both got, particularly at this level. Looks like Ishmael Miller's come out on the left-hand side at the start of this second half, and Gera gone over to the right. He was pretty ineffective, wasn't he, Ishmael Miller, from that right-hand side.
Semedo, one of 3 players who picked up a caution in the first half. 2 of those in the colours of West Brom, Gera and Greening. No margin for error for that trio. Out by Hopkins. The goal scorer Halford gives it to West Brom's goal scorer Phillips. No harm done, but not an advisable course of action. Cesar. Semedo. McCarthy. Wasn't sure that Zoltan Gera was in such close proximity. A sort of nervy play which can contribute to a downfall here for Charlton.
Saw again an example of the ball zipping off the turf. Thatcher couldn't keep that in, and then Gera gives it back to Charlton by producing a foul throw.
Andy Gray looking for the quick throw. It's not going to come because they're just going to check on Hopkins, who took another blow to the head. Took one early on in the first half as well.
Similar area as well, isn't it? So I'm saying, is that not a foot up, ref? And he's saying no. Get your head down.
Thatcher comes forward. Gray and Lita still looking to open their accounts like another of the recent arrivals. Greg Halford has done already. Another Charlton throw. Holland. In by McCarthy, helped on by Gray. Robinson, in typically robust style. He goes all the way back to Nicky Weaver. Probably of the two goalkeepers has been kept marginally less busy. Charlton have probably had a lion's share of the good opportunities.
That's probably testimony to the defenders in front of him, to be fair. They've blocked any shots that have been coming in, except the one crucial one from Kevin Phillips.
Halford smuggles it through to Jerome Thomas. Thatcher. Holland. We're all waiting in the middle, but it's a more ponderous approach by Charlton. Remains to be seen whether it's a less effective one. Thomas. Now they'll get the ball in. Lita.
And again, not saying he was holding my shirt, but still a little half chance for somebody of Leroy Lita's predatory instincts. It's good movement, isn't it, to get across the front of Cesar. He just doesn't get the fine glance that he's looking for, but he's still complaining to the referee that his shirt was being held.
Corran. Phillips has gone. He's in an offside position, so Miller makes the run. Charlton do the blocking. This is Soji. What a good chance he had, by the way. Which could have given Charlton the lead back just before half-time. Now goes Thomas. Well, on the referee's whistle, he can't believe it, Pele, but going to have to accept it and face up to another free kick into the box. Both goals, just to remind you, coming from angled free kicks into the respective penalty areas. Holland is going to move the West Brom defence around here, Charlton. Holland will have a dig. Took a touch on the way through. Charlton corner.
Starting to force the issue a little bit, aren't they? Opened up a little bit for Matt Holland. Never been one to turn down a shooting opportunity.
Ambrose with Charlton's first corner of this second half, inviting over the head of Soji. Leroy Lita blocked by Robinson. An appeal for handball, the Charlton fans, but to be fair, I think it did come off his chest. Phillips almost getting away from Thatcher. Saludo all the way back to Nicky Weaver. Cesar stood strong. Starting to bubble up a little nicely the second half as it starts to come to life. Gray with a little bit of help from Ambrose. Lita's in the middle. Can Gray pick him out? Hopkins only as far as Jerome Thomas. Had to dig it out.
Well, they are the master of their own downfall. Sometimes West Brom, they've got away with it, but Hopkins is going to breathe a huge sigh. This is a terrible defensive header. Straight to Thomas. That is a brilliant effort. Just not quite getting enough bend on the ball. But very, very close to doing so.
He's taken a couple of blows to the head and used his head that time, nearly to undo his teammates. Sodji there. Just for a second it looked like Phillips might get there. Kept in by Weaver. He's forced it wide, but he's given it to Phillips, who looks to pick out Miller. Did everything he could, Ishmael Miller, to bulldoze his way to the ball. And it's Charlton who breathe a big sigh of relief this time. Holland.
Mistakes being made at both ends of the pitch now, aren't there?
Thomas. Ben Thatcher. Deflected. And another Charlton corner. Well, it's great end-to-end stuff at the moment, isn't it?
Nicky Weaver. And a right smile now, can afford to. He got away with it.
McCarthy, Gray and Halford all in the Charlton cluster, so too Sodji. A little burst of movement in there. Sodji rose well.
It's a decent effort, isn't it? He has been dangerous, hasn't he, Sam Sodji? Got a good spring on him. Rises above, says that's an early jump. It's a very, very good effort on his part. Just clears the bar.
Turned himself a regular in the side, partly due to the injury to Majid Bouguera, who'd been keeping one of the centre-back spots as his own. Jonathan Fortune, currently the out-of-favour centre-half here. They've mixed and matched Charlton this season to try and find the most effective formula. Injury forcing their hand as well sometimes, very much like their guests here. We've got a goal kick, despite the pressure from Lita.
He's up for it, isn't he? Leroy Lita, desperate to get off the mark for his new club. A little half chances. He'll just be waiting for the next one to come along.
Semedo. Ambrose. Can't shake off Pele. He has found a way through to Andy Gray. Thomas. Thatcher. Holland. Got hold of the ball well, Charlton. Holland. Looking for Lita. Cut out by Cesar. Came for Ambrose. Cesar completes the clearance for now. Halford. Good spell this for the home side. Semedo. They've got West Brom pegged back. Sodji. Hopkins would have been favourite there, but again it ends up at the feet of a Charlton player. Semedo. Hopkins away. And a pressure relieving free kick for West Bromwich Albion.
Got his hands up. Heart might be stopped just for a second. Already in the book. Semedo. Referee Kevin Friend just saying, hey, got to be careful, but he just stretches there. I'll tell you what, you've seen yellow cards given for them. He is a little bit of a lucky boy for me.
Maybe, just maybe, if he didn't already have one, he would have picked up one for that. But Kevin Friend deciding that this match does not need a reduction in numbers just yet. Rose imperiously again. Didn't handle him well in the first game and haven't really got the measure of him this afternoon either. Charlton, this is Matty Holland. Away by Thatcher. Corran. Albrechtsen.
Finely poised, isn't it? On a knife edge, big 3 points at stake. It's brave souls out there.
We talked already about the importance for both these sides of getting the 3 points, if anything, as it comes to the crunch period of the match. The need perhaps slightly more Charlton's because they are running out of time and get out of free cards. But in terms of West Brom, they'll still have a game in hand. A point wouldn't be a disaster for them. Charlton desperately need to pick up all three, because with the rest of the chasing pack in action at the weekend, they could find themselves starting to be cut adrift, with the games continuing to run out. Just 6 left for Charlton after this afternoon.
He took a risk there, didn't he, Sam Sodji? Dribbling the ball out, drew the free kick, fortunately for him, from Ishmael Miller.
Good battle between Gray and Cesar. Gray took a knock for his troubles. This is Zoltan Gera. Now Miller. Formidable presence down this left. The on-loan Manchester City man, but Halford dealt with him superbly.
A bit of a moan at the moment, Ishmael Miller. Not happy with the free kick that he conceded a minute ago. Not happy because one of his teammates were in the box there for him to cross it to.
Playing in this wide position, he has looked at times this afternoon like a little bit of a fish out of water, but he'll enjoy this situation. West Bromwich Albion corner.
He's been asked to do a job for the team, hasn't he? He's played on both flanks in this match. Probably doesn't suit his game as much as playing down the middle, but there's an opportunity for him to attack a decent ball into the box.
Green and Gera's come near post, he met it, but he fired it over.
He's such a threat, isn't he? Such a real threat. When any ball crossed into the penalty area, look at his movement here, sprints across the near post, rises very well. Just looking to glance it a little more finely than that and get it down.
A few running repairs there for Andy Gray, who's back on.
He was in a collision with Cesar, wasn't he, a couple of minutes ago?
Sodji. Angle for Halford. Leroy Lita is onside it, and the flag went up. As he touched the ball, so it went up. Frustration for the Charlton fans. But I was surprised not to see him flagged immediately.
Well, yeah, because he was going towards the ball, so he was intending to take advantage of being in an offside position. I'm not so sure. That is very close, and for me, benefit of the doubt to the attacker. Assistant referee lets it roll, waits. As soon as he touches it, the flag goes up.
Gera's header, again opening doors for the Albion. Gera. Back onto that left foot, goes for the far corner, and you know what, he wasn't too far away.
Well, he's already got 8 goals this season, hasn't he, Gera? Nicky Weaver scrambling across his goal. Very two-footed player, skillful. He's got the lot, to be fair to the lad. It's a decent turn. There's confidence for your shooting from there. Decent effort.
I just wonder if he does find the back of the net this afternoon, whether we'll see those old Brazilian-style baby celebrations. Became a father for the first time last week, baby girl Anna.
He'll be desperate to get the opportunity, won't he?
Our play, still no clearer as to who's to get their hands on the spoil here in southeast London this afternoon. Holland has given it to Robinson. Gera. Now Greening. Stretching his legs and getting beyond Thomas, and it did bounce up off the Belgian's hand. He's claiming chest, but the man who matters disagrees.
Well, I'm not sure he's claiming chest. I think he's saying, I thought he had to be intentional handball. I mean, it's kicked at him from literally a foot away. There's no way he can get his arm out of the way. But all of these situations, well, they're open to interpretation, aren't they?
Semedo looks in a little bit of trouble here, doesn't he? Well, Alan Pardew absolutely delighted when his side took the lead, Don.
Yeah, absolutely. It's decent header by Greg Halford. I'm still not convinced he's going for goal. I think he might be trying to knock that back down into the danger area. But what about this for a predatory finish from the master of finishing, Kevin Phillips?
Doesn't matter whether he starts a game or comes off the bench, he still seems to find the back of the net.
They've started racking up, haven't they? But it's Charlton who lead the way by 2-1, 12-6, but only one save each for the goalkeepers. They really must both do better than that.
Robinson. Corran. Now Miller. Robinson. Soje. Take two for Robinson, who'll enlist the help of Miller. And even Gira won't meet that one.
Ishmael Miller. Not sure he's had an attempt on target. The only two attempts that did ended up in the back of the net, and he'll be hoping that Ishmael Miller can probably just get a little bit more involved in this game.
He's got him in his squad, hasn't he, for next week's under-21 friendly international. Kevin Phillips. Miller might be a chance here. Flag up, won't count. Right on cue, Ishmael Miller finds the back of the net, but all in vain.
Well, that flag did go up instantly. Absolutely instantly, and he's keen to get in there, just goes a fraction too early. It's half a yard, isn't it? And it's a good decision from the assistant referee, but it's noticeable that he's much more central, isn't he, Ishmael Miller, there when he gets involved.
Well, the injury to Semedo is a terminal one as far as his contribution in this match is concerned. Zheng Ji, the free-scoring Chinese international, comes on.
He is much more of a goals threat, isn't he, than Semedo?
Came off the back of Cesar's head. Lito was prowling, so was Robinson. He's got it clear. Miller, who's operating more centrally, and as a consequence with more menace just at the moment. Gray. No free kick. Gira trying to make things tick. Thundered off in by McCarthy. The throw into Charlton. And sometimes, Don, these substitutions can work in your favour. Two players who prefer to sit and operate a little deeper. Matt Holland and Semedo in this Charlton lineup. Zheng Ji, as you said, very much with an attacking instinct.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can see he's going to have the licence to get up there and support Andy Gray and Leroy Lita.
Ambrose. Thomas. Gray and Lita wait again. Zheng Ji on the edge of the box. Ambrose too. Gets it back across goal. Away, but not completely. Pele now finds Robinson, and West Bromwich Albion should be able to clear here.
Every time the high ball comes into that West Brom penalty area, you do worry for them. Not decisive, are they?
Gira. Classy touch again from the Hungarian. Corran. And Robinson. Cesar. Gray. Zheng Ji. Ambrose. Too close to Dean Kiley this time from Darren Ambrose. Immediately looking to spring on the counter-attack, building up from the back, West Bromwich Albion. Often showed too much to Thatcher. A sort of invitation to make a challenge he'll always take up. Thomas shrugs off Gira. Jerome Thomas for Charlton. Low beyond Lita, and it's turned behind by Albrechtsen.
Robinson, Paul Robinson getting across, and it's good defending. His team, Lita was in there with intent. Had to cut that ball out for his team, Paul Robinson, and duly obliged.
McCarthy goes near post. Kylie tried to get distance on the punch, but his own man prevented it, and that's what they were looking for. Free kick, Sheng-Chi fouling Ishmael Miller. Taken quickly. Here come the guests. Robinson, Phillips offside.
I'll tell you what, the tempo is an half increased by 20-30%, hasn't it, in the second half? Fast and furious, end to end. Hey, I wouldn't like to call it at the minute.
In many ways, mirroring the race for promotion to the Premier League. Just so hard to predict what's going on. Who would have thought that Stoke and Bristol City would be the two pace setters in the final stages of this intriguing race? No one seems to want to take the bull by the horns.
A lot of clubs in and around these two that will be hoping that this game stays 1-1. Good result for a lot of other clubs.
Well, he'll be pleased. Brings his Wolves side here, live on Sky Sports next week. Hopkins is now getting a little bit of treatment. He's been in the wars this afternoon, only just back from those 3 games out.
Well, he has been in the wars. A couple of bangs on the head now. Bang on the shin or the ankle, didn't it?
Head, shoulders, knees and toes for the Belgian defender. Touched on by Thatcher. Thomas, who's had a lively and industrious game for Charlton down that left. Gray. Hopkins back on, and might just be needed. Ambrose touches beyond Robinson, but gives Cesar enough time to come across and stab it out. Miller. Holland tracking back. Sodjes missed it. Mix up at the back, and out of his goal again. Weaver has a nervous moment.
It's all going on down there, isn't it? Referee's not happy with Miller. 2 players down there. Tony Mowbray not happy with the challenge on Hopkins. It's all going on.
Just another day in the promotion race in the Coca-Cola Championship.
This is Miller trying to barge his way through. They just make a bit of a mix-up. I mean, I don't see what Ishmael Miller's done wrong there, to be honest with you.
They were using their bodies to shield the ball, and he was trying to get that. Time and time again, though, when that happens in that area of the field, you don't see anything given. Lita. Got the free kick. Albrechtsen fumes.
I'll tell you what, West Brom will be fuming if anything happens from this. Very, very innocuous. I mean, he had his arms in the air, Albrechtsen, saying, look, I'm not holding him, I'm not holding him. The referee still blows up.
We've seen Greg Halford go close already from a set piece. You know what Darren Ambrose can do. Yet again, those are the 2 likely customers for Charlton to try and trouble the former Charlton man in the West Bromwich Albion goal. Ambrose. Up, but not down.
Let's see what he's trying to do there, Darren Ambrose, but well over the bar.
The weight goes on for Leroy Lita then.
To number 38, Leroy Lita.
4 games now without a goal since his loan move from Reading, and Chris Iwelumo will come on and replace him.
He's a different proposition, isn't he, for the back line there? Big, strong, good in the air. Probably think that Charlton are going to aim a few more high balls in the direction of Iwelumo and Andy Gray up there, 2 big, strong lads.
2 men who are both in double figures for goals this season. Iwelumo on 10 and Andy Gray. Unfortunately, from Charlton's point of view, they're all before he moved here from Burnley in January. Corran. Miller. They're moving forward in a wave here, West Bromwich Albion. And Gira couldn't make up the ground.
It's a good attempt. He looked up early. Ishmael Miller saw that it was Gira at the far post, tried to find him. Just difficult ball, especially when it's bouncing. It's picking up pace and zipping off the turf.
Touched by Pele, that's Hopkins. Then ending up on the deck after a challenge. Pele. Out for a West Brom throw, just in front of the dugout. Reminder of the height of the stakes in this match. West Brom will leapfrog Watford and go to within 2 points of the top two. Charlton will go back into the playoff positions if they can prevail. Both sides look for something there, neither get it.
Well, the Charlton bench are absolutely furious. They were right out of the technical area. He's getting a telling off from the fourth official there. Alan Pardew smiling at the referee. I'm not sure it was Jonathan Greening, was it, as well, who's already been booked.
Corran. Robinson. Strong challenge by Halford, fair one though, he got enough of the ball. Albrechtsen, this is Greening. Hopkins. Gira. Robinson. Corran. Away from Zhengji. And a floater, which very nearly caused Nicky Weaver some problems.
Well, again, you can see what he was trying to do. He saw Kevin Phillips pulling off at the far post. Look, he's trying to bend it in and round. It's a bit more, but this is what Alan Pardew was complaining about. I think Jerome Thomas breaks free, and, well, that's a free kick for me.
Albrechtsen. Ambrose finds Greg Halford. The man who gave Charlton the lead in the first half. Greening. Miller. Nearly away from Sodje. Very nearly away. And Sodje forced to give away the free kick.
Probably a wise decision. Sam Sodje. Miller would have been able to get up and get at him again with his pace.
Takes some catching as well, doesn't he?
Certainly does.
Greening. Halford. This could come to Corran, it does. Away by Iwelumo. No one upfield for Charlton, this will come straight back at them. Cesar. Phillips. Miller. Holding off two defenders and finding Robert Corran. Phillips and Gira wait at the far post. It's Gira to attack it. Stood up just well enough, Ben Thatcher.
Well, he had to be strong.
Zhengji. 15 minutes to go in a game that Charlton badly need to win. A season-defining game for them in so many ways. Phillips. Zoltan Gira got in there ahead of Holland. It's Gira. Terrific challenge by McCarthy. Gira at full tilt. Right to get it right, didn't he? And he did.
Certainly did. Perfectly timed tackle. They're both going for this win here. Both absolutely going flat out for the win. And it's good to see.
Grandstand finish at the Valley. Robinson. Phillips is offside.
Wow. It's tight. He's a clever player. He tried holding his run, didn't he? He saw they were holding up, just strayed off. This is a crucial tackle by Paddy McCarthy. Gira was bursting through on goal there. And to be fair, both defences in the main have played very, very well, but is an attacking roll of the dice by Tony Mowbray.
West Bromwich Albion introduced their second top scorer, Roman Bednar. 16 goals he has this season. Calming call from Kylie. Robinson. Bednar. Greening with a good run, which might just open it up. Halford didn't take the dummy, though. Ambrose. Iwelumo. Just a little ride on the back of Cesar. Which Albion allowed to carry on as they had possession anyway. Zhengzi. Thatcher. Charlton side who hadn't scored in their 2 games preceding this one need to find a second goal. They found a free kick.
Again, Cesar furious. As far as he's concerned, he stuck his leg around Iwelumo and played the ball, but
Thatcher looking for Halford, who got the header, bounced back off Bednar. Robinson in. And the free kick goes against Charlton.
well, it was the assistant referee that gave that. Flag went up instantly on Greg Halford's challenge. I'm not really well. It's a little bit of a coming together, purely accidental. I'm not sure, really. But the assistant referee was right in front of him. And the flag went straight up. Charlton crowd not happy.
Aaron thought he'd kept it in. The Charlton supporters thought it had gone out. Bednar. Kieran Corrin went in the middle. Met by McCarthy. Here's Phillips. Tees it up again.
I'll tell you what, if you're a Charlton supporter, the one person you don't want that clearance falling to is Kevin Phillips. Not a bad headed clearance there, but great control. One thing in his mind, pulls the trigger, and it's decent. The only surprising thing from his point of view is he doesn't hit the target. It's a difficult opportunity, but he's got the capability from there.
Final substitution for the Alex. Please show your appreciation to
Another
number 11,
change here for Charlton.
And please welcome number 7,
Lee Cook on loan from Fulham, where he hasn't played a game. Spent most of the season on the sidelines with injury, and come on and really make a name for himself here for Charlton. Bednar. Corrin. Looking early ball for Phillips, and a vital, absolutely vital touch behind from McCarthy.
Well, it's another fantastic defensive clearance by Paddy McCarthy, and again it's Corrin and Phillips involved. Great movement by Kevin Phillips to pull off the back of the defence. Nearly.
Corrin, they're queuing up at the far post. And the referee has spared Charlton any more panic this time.
What a last 10 minutes we've got in store here. Brilliant. It's been a really good second half. Very, very lively. Both ends of the pitch.
Worth pointing out that it was in the last 10 minutes that the match was really decided in the league meeting back at the Hawthorns. Gira got one at about this time. Phillips came off the bench to secure the victory as well. Here he is now. Corrin. Robinson. Zhengzi wanted too long. There's not that sort of time out there at the moment. Gira. Through the middle for Corrin. Robert Corrin for West Brom. Again, it's that man McCarthy.
Super defending again. What can I say? He is saying, come on, let's get on top of it.
All came from Zhengzi losing possession, didn't it? And that's what Paddy McCarthy's saying.
That's the difficulty when you come on as a substitute and you can't quite get into the tempo of the game. No time in this match at all.
Bednar comes near post, puts it behind. Grandstand finish here. Grand Slam Sunday tomorrow, or on Sunday I should say. Manchester United against Liverpool, Sunday 1 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, and then Chelsea against Arsenal, Sunday 3:30, same channel. Bednar. Hopkins. Rain falling again over the valley. In towards Kevin Phillips. Soji, only as far as Corran. Robinson ensured there was no break for Thomas. Albrechtsen looks long. Powerful header away by Paddy McCarthy.
He's been colossal, hasn't he, the last 5 minutes, McCarthy. Absolutely stopping everything that West Bromwich Albion throw at Charlton.
Only the way things pan out over the remaining weeks of the season, we'll see if it stays like this, whether it's a valuable point or 2 points that prove so costly for Charlton. In by Thatcher. Soji's touch.
Well, I think West Brom are just picking that second ball up more in the last 10 minutes.
Phillips.
Anything that gets cleared seems to be finding a West Brom player at the moment.
Long clearance away by Weaver. Can he get on the end of this? Chris Uwaluma. Albrechtsen in real trouble. Gray arrived, but they got the luck of the bounce there.
They're looking at each other back there. I don't know if they want Dean Kiley to come out and take control of that situation. Certainly would have helped them as central defenders.
Holland. McCarthy pressurised by Phillips, who is penalised, and he'll get a yellow card for that reaction as well.
It's dissent, isn't it? Not happy, Kevin Phillips. But you can't show your dissent in that way. You know that you're going to get a yellow.
Third West Bromwich Albion caution. Thatcher. Just the sort of claim that Kiley was required to make at this stage. McCarthy. Halford. Thomas. Corran did well to find a way out there, as too did Bednar. Robinson, now Greening. A lot of space down the right for Hopkins, and they've kicked him out here, West Brom. Absolutely right, though, Don. Of the two teams, probably the visitors look the most likely at this stage in terms of the possession and the threat they possess.
Well, they do score a lot of late goals as well, West Bromwich Albion. They have got that habit. They need another one now if they want to get the 3 points out of this, but Charlton might have something to say about that.
Ebbed and flowed all afternoon. A slightly cagey start. Charlton then took the lead and looked good value for it, but clinical piece of Kevin Phillips' snipery got West Brom level at half-time. This second half, well, Charlton have been on top for a bit, not made it count. West Bromwich Albion have had their spells, but strangely in a game against two of the sides most favoured in this division for being attacking, defences have been on top.
Absolutely. Some fantastic displays from defenders.
Gira. This is a tremendous burst. Coram, Bednar. Charlton stretch, now Robinson. Soji somehow got that over his own goal.
Well, once again, that is first-class defending. It's brilliant, brilliant football by West Bromwich Albion. They manoeuvre the ball from one side of the pitch to the other, overlapped by Robinson, and, well, that's a dangerous ball and a crucial interception from Soji.
Bednar with the flick. Charlton with the goal kick. Valley crowd urge the side in red forward. Time is running out for them in the match. This has to be an afternoon where it all started to slip away from them. Of course, 3 consecutive defeats going into this didn't help. Say even just a point, you couldn't rule Charlton out of the playoffs, the way that everyone has been slipping up and failing to capitalise.
Well, they've shown enough here tonight to suggest that they're still well in the playoffs. Form's been terrible overall recently, but played well tonight.
Iwalumo, Gira getting deep into those reserves of energy, a threat at one end and tidier up at the other. Kevin Phillips just slipped away.
Of course, as good as it would be to go on and win this game from here, with just a couple of minutes left, it also would be heartbreaking for either team to lose it now.
That's what makes these final couple of minutes plus stoppage time so absolutely fascinating. Cook thought he was able to break away. And the last time Charlton were involved in a playoffs from this division, as to were probably barely born. But Kevin Phillips, one of the scorers, of course, in that all-time classic at Wembley in 1998. 10 years ago, will they be returning to Wembley a decade on? Gira! Oh, absolutely brilliant! Zoltan Gira so close to winning it for West Bromwich Albion with a goal that would have been worthy of any match.
Well, I'll tell you what, we thought Kevin Phillips' goal was brilliant, but this, well, this would have topped it. What a strike that is, and he cannot believe it. That is so unlucky.
Well, they were undone by a wonder strike at Burnley, one of those 3 consecutive defeats I was just talking about. That one, well, no one could have argued losing a game to a strike like that. Charlton, though, still in it. Lee Cook bounces through. Will it fall here for that scrambling Jerome Thomas? Everyone seeming to lose their footing, but Kylie didn't lose his head.
He was sharp out, wasn't he? Look, in a hurry to get the ball forward.
Four more minutes.
The
outcome is still not decided.
4 minutes.
Bednar. It's back to Roman Bednar. The man on loan from Hearts could break Charlton hearts, but it's Paddy McCarthy yet again for Charlton. Up towards Iwalumo. Wouldn't stick with him. Jerome Thomas. Zengzi taken off his toes by Gira, and it's back at the feet of Zoltan Gira. Greening. Robinson provides the West Bromwich Albion width. And the delivery. Greening. Bouncing ball caused problems for Matt Holland. Phillips. Coram. Fired straight into Soji. Phillips now. And they get a chance to break Charlton through Jerome Thomas. Terrific hunting down by Corrin. This is a good little battle. Thomas, now Lee Cook. West Bromwich Albion have it back.
Again, the substitutes, they've both been caught with the ball in midfield areas in the last couple of minutes. They can't afford that.
Kevin Phillips away from Cook. Phillips!
Wow. You can hear the crowd urging Charlton forward.
Iwalumo.
Feeling it's going to go long into that West Brom penalty area.
In the last minute of added time. Halford looks long. It's down by Pele. It's away by Zoltan Gera. McCarthy. Lily comes out.
Time for us to take a breath.
McCarthy. Time running out for a late twist in the tail here. We thought we had it when Gera unleashed an absolute beauty against the crossbar. Albrechtsen, Holland, here's Gray, now Thomas. Do Charlton have time for one last attack? Lee Cook. Gray inside the box, too close to Kiley.
It's a great opportunity to get some quality in there, wasn't it? At time, way too close to Dean Kiley.
Bednar. It's got beyond Soje, who looked a little tired in the battle. Bednar, the cutback. Oh, they haven't dealt with it. Phillips. Senses return to Paddy McCarthy. Corrin. Bednar's offside.
Well, he shouldn't have been. He's looking right along the line there. You see the Charlton defenders.
The 4 minutes are up now. Chris Iwalumo for Charlton, trying to get Jerome Thomas in, goes to ground. More out of desperation than anything else. And that is that. The game billed as must-win has ended in a draw for Alan Pardew and Charlton, unable to bounce back into the playoff spots this afternoon. But a thoroughly entertaining game again between these two promotion chasers. It was all looking good for Charlton in the first half, wasn't it, when they took the lead? Grant Halford with his first goal for the club. But don't count out Kevin Phillips from any position in and around the penalty area. He fired in an absolute cracker, and neither side, despite their best endeavours, able to add to those first half goals. So 1-1 is how we finish here at the Valley.
Well, it was a furious finish, and perhaps they were just hanging on at the end, Charlton. Kevin Phillips with the equaliser in the first half, and there was a sniff at the end that he might have had the winner as well. Wasn't to be. So that point for West Brom sees them stay in 4th place. But it's also tight at the top, isn't it? Stoke City, top of the pile, home to Blackpool tomorrow. Bristol City go to Cardiff. Watford go to Plymouth. Charlton, because it is so tight, with that 1 point, go up 2 places. But the games are running out for them. West Brom still united. They've given absolutely everything, and Tony Mowbray right in the middle of that huddle there. That's interesting, isn't it? He said before the game, don't talk to me about statistics, but it is now 2 wins from the last 8 games. Chris Powell, the Charlton player and coach, is watching this game with myself and Peter Beagrie. Chris, do you think that West Brom will be the happier team at that point?
Yeah, absolutely. Being away from home and playing against a team that really needed a win. You know, they could have actually shaded it and could have nicked the 3 points, but without a doubt, they'll be happier than our camp tonight.
The grand scheme of things, Peter, taking 4 points from Charlton and getting a point down here, you've got to take that, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and it was the manner in which the point came. You know, they finished the second half the strongest. They really went for it. Dean Carley collecting a couple of crosses and straight away zooming the ball out. They play it in the proper manner, and that's why they've got so many plaudits this year. But Tony will be very pleased with that point.
While the West Brom players go and congratulate their fans and share their pleasure with them, Charlton team have disappeared pretty quickly down the tunnel, but you can't fault them in terms of what they've given today, Chris, can you?
No, a big improvement on the last 3 games for sure, and our last home performance. But I'm sure our fans would have loved a win today. It would have propelled us back into the playoff places. But, you know, as you said earlier, we've moved up 2 spots, but there's 2 teams below us. Wolves and Ipswich have got 2 games in hand, a point behind. You know, really, it's looking harder and harder by each game now.
Perhaps a reflection on things that the man of the match is a central defender for Charlton today, Paddy McCarthy. He and the goal scorer Greg Halford with Greg Whelan.
Well, Paddy, a really, really good contest. But in the end, from Charlton's point of view, was a point really enough?
No, I don't think so at this stage of the season. Last couple of games we've played well and not come out with the results maybe that our performances deserved. Tonight I thought we played well, and we've got 6 games to go after this, and if we perform like that for the next 6 games, that should see us in the playoffs. We should pick up enough points by performances like that.
You limited West Brom, the top scorers in this division, to just a handful of chances. How hard did you have to work out there defensively?
Very hard. We knew that straight away from the start of the game that they've got such a prolific strike force. It was going to be a tough game, but as you're seeing, Kevin Phillips put the ball in the only place that he could have put in the top corner, and that's what he's good at. That's why he's been such a top player all his career, and fair play to him. To be fair, there's not an awful lot any of us could have done about it.
Let's grab a very quick word with the goal scorer. Greg, you're first in Charlton colours. How satisfying to get it?
Yeah, it was nice. Obviously, would have preferred the win to go along with it, but you know, it was nice for myself. But you know, we didn't create many chances, did we? And you know, we need to be.
And how big a blow was it to concede the equaliser when you did, just before half-time?
Yeah, it was. It's not a nice time ever to concede a goal just before half-time, but you know, it was good. On the positive side, we had enough time to get back into it and create enough chances and, you know, go and score, but it just wasn't our night.
Well, congratulations on a good contest. Nonetheless, Paddy, you're also the parade man of the match. Greg, if you did the honours for us, please.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
Well done, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
It's no one in 4, though, here now for Charlton as well. Greg Halford's goal, the first in 3 games for them, Chris. Was it one from the training ground, this set piece?
It was, yeah. Greg's very capable in the air, and you know, he got there before. I think it was Pele marking him. I don't think Tony Mowbray, being an ex-centre half, would have been happy with that. But a good ball in by Dan Ambrose and attacked well by Greg, and it just squeezed in past Dean Kiley, and that set us off to 1-0.
He talked there in the interview about the goal from Kevin Phillips. We know all about him. He's the Championship Player of the Year. He's the top scorer. He's got 19 goals. Is he the kind of player that can be the difference between promotion and not?
Yeah, absolutely. And Alan Pardew would be dismayed, really, to putting it mildly, that he finds himself, you know, the one man in space by himself in the box. Why isn't he being marked? You know, space doesn't score goals, men do. And it's dropped to him here, and we've said about his first touch. His second touch is just unerring. The finish is fantastic. He's got that little slot in the top corner to aim for, because Dean Carley, for a goalkeeper, has got a tremendous position. The lads are coming to close it down. That's the only place he can pick out. And 21 goals in 29 games is just phenomenal.
They do have the games to get there, but are they going to have to convert more of their chances? We saw from Zoltan Gera, threat after threat in that second half.
Yeah, but we mentioned that, you know, they've had a lot of games in this. This is all about Zoltan Gera and what he brings to the game. That was a header. He's tremendous in the air. You see him working his little bit of magic. Left foot, nearly buries it in the bottom corner. And then we see it again, not unlike West Brom, going route one a bit. It drops down, and there he's with the right foot. And that would have been a goal justifiably winning any game. Tremendous technique to keep it over the ball there.
It was a fantastic strike, wasn't it? But it wasn't to be. It has finished 1-1. Let's hear from Tony Mowbray with Greg Whelan.
Tony, in terms of what you're trying to achieve this season, how do you see this result today?
Well, it's okay. We'd have liked to come and win, of course, and but you know, I didn't really feel as if we were in any danger of losing the football match. I thought we were threatening to score the winning goal the last half hour or so. It didn't quite come, but you know, no complaints with the desire, the commitment, the effort, the quality on show.
Today you had the chance to apply a little bit of pressure on the top two. You had that game in hand. In that respect, do you see it as a little bit of a missed opportunity?
No, not really. We've still got another game in hand. You know, the FA Cup has thrown us 2 games behind everybody, really, and you know, let's wait and see. There's a lot of twists and turns still to go. Teams will drop points, and they come away to Charlton. You know, yes, we wanted to come here and win and felt we could, but you know, we'll take the point and move on to the next one.
We saw that little huddle on the pitch at the end there. What was your message to your players at that particular point?
Well, that's obviously got to remain within the dressing room. But at the bottom line, we've got to stick together. You know, it's. I think that we showed people watching the day. We showed our supporters who made the travelling, made the journey. That, you know, we're a proper football team, if you can say that. A team that tries to play and win football matches, and a team that tries to be progressive and score goals, as opposed to, you know, a team that is there to stop the opposition sometimes. And regardless of where our season goes, whether we get promoted or not, you know, I'm delighted at the progress the team's making, and you know, we've got to keep pushing on in that direction.
Tony, thanks for your time today.
Cheers, thank you.
From what you've seen today, Chris, and with the games that West Brom have got to go, do you think they are the team to beat still in this league?
Well, they're one of a number of teams. You know, Watford, Bristol City, Stoke, are very strong. But with their fixtures, I mean, their home fixtures, you know, Colchester, I'm sure they'll be looking at that for 3 points. Watford, obviously, will be a tough game for them. But on the road, you know, quite tricky games for them. Cardiff and Blackpool still trying to make sure they're going to stay in the Championship. But I think West Brom are the best footballing team, but we'll have to wait and see how they
And how do you view those? We've got Wolves live on Sky next week here, but are they, well, how many do you need to win to get in the playoffs?
All of them, I would
think?
say. Yeah, I would say so. After the result today, really, we can't afford any slip-ups now. It's, you know, 6 games and good, you know, 6 really good games for us, I would say, but we need to win them.
Are they well placed, West Brom, do you think, to still get automatic promotion, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely. They've just got that April because of the cup run. It's very congested, but they've got enough in the locker. We've seen their squad today, and a very good football inside.
And what's your thought? Can Charlton scrape home as well?
I very much doubt it. Unfortunately. I think they've left it too late. Sorry, Chris, and all that, but I think they've left it too late. 1 goal out of the strikers in the last 8 games. It's not enough.
Peter, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. And Chris, thanks very much for being with us, and best of luck as well for the rest of the season.